Hello YouTube and welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we're doing something a little bit different today because a couple of days ago I was thinking in my head what could be some good ideas for some new videos, because obviously I'm in Dr. Slacking's server now, like his Trump people server. He's like trying to like evolve as a PokeTuber and like get more views and all that good stuff and more subscribers and go to a bigger channel. So I thought, well, I thought it'd be a cool idea to reflect back on all of the series I've done in the past on the channel, because I think we're almost at 800 videos now, which is absolutely insane. But it has been about 3 years, so that doesn't want to make a little bit of sense. But so what I've done is every single series I've done on the channel, which has met the criteria of it had to have at least 2 episodes in the series. So like one-off videos, like update videos and all that stuff won't be included. And 1 episode of that series has to have had made my top 150 viewed videos. Those are the only stipulations for the series listed on the tier list. So if there is one that's missing out, you guys really did enjoy, in the comment section down below, shout me out and tell me where you would put it. Because obviously some of you have been around since day dot, some of you have just been like the past year or so. So hopefully it's a good chance to like reflect back, and also if you guys say, oh, you haven't done this type of video in a while, you should really do that again, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll try and get onto that for future endeavours on the channel. Now, we've got 5 categories to put these into. It's either the best series ever, otherwise a comic guy, solid watch, good for what it was, just had to be done, so it's like a forced upload. It's just, yeah, you know, I had to do it. Like, I just had to do it. And how did this do so well? So, in my opinion, I didn't think the series was that great, but somehow it's in the top 150 videos on the channel. So, hopefully, there won't be that many in there. But first of all, we've got, I can't remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 32, 33, 34, 36. I think we've got 36 series. So there's been quite a lot of different series on the channel, as you can see. And the first one we're going to do, I think they're in alphabetical order, but the first one is this one, which I do believe is the first ever season of ABC, which was, when was the first series of ABC? At least like 2 years ago. This was the first league I entered that wasn't UCC, I do believe, which is absolutely wild, because at that point, I was in UCC, Dean and Sean, the Foss and Mr. Blind Messiah were in the UCC, and like, because all the people from whole Pokemon Society like joined UCC, and then Dean was new Dr. Slacking, and Dean said, "Oh, I'm starting a new league called ABC. Do you want to join it?" And I was like thinking, right, okay. He said he'd like people to upload. At that point, I'd literally just started YouTube. I'd been like, what, about 5-6 months into YouTube at that point. And I said, yeah, I'll join. No worries. So I joined the server, met Dr. Slacking, I met Dreadful Dragonite, I met Nico, I met all these guys who I've known for, which seems like forever. So that was the beginning, the absolute beginning of growing in the Pokemon community. Because at that stage, I was just in UCC. Now, Season 1... I think the most viewed league video at that point was my week 1 game where I played Dreadful Dragonite, which I do believe I won 3-0. But I think good for what it was, or was it Solid Watch? I think it was good for what it was, because obviously it was league content. It was like one of the first league contents I uploaded to the channel, so it wasn't as good as like more modern day ones, like the live reaction ones, like Wi-Fi leagues and such. So I thought, overall, it was a good solid watch. Not solid watch, good for what it was. It was good for what it was. It was just a bog standard showdown. I don't think these were live. I think these were post-commentated, which, in my opinion, I prefer doing live com. But at the moment, being restricted time, I can't really do live commentary. But when I get like the chance to, like in the future, and I get the opportunity to do it again, I would absolutely 100% love to do live commentary again, because my reactions are like more, you know, over the top and wild rather than post-com, because at post-com I've got time to like relax and just go over what happened. So that is why ABC Season 1 is there. Next up, we've got ABC Season 2. So you guys obviously love to watch ABC. Now, I think I'm going to put it for good what it was as well, because it was pretty much the same kind of dealio with season 1. But obviously, I knew the coach was more a bit there, so there was more like personality to it. Like, oh, yeah. So over time, ABC season 1, I think season 2. I think all seasons of ABC are actually in this tier list, which is absolutely insane. That is wild to me. Absolutely wild. So, yeah, so ABC season 2 was pretty much the same as season 1. Just I was more into my YouTube career. So I think I'm going to put it there because... Can I do that? Yeah, I'll do that. Because obviously, this was a newer series. I was getting better at YouTube at that point. So season 2 was a lot better than season 1. And we move on next to season number 3 of ABC, where I started to do weekly update shows with my boy, Dr. Slacking, for a couple of the videos. Then he flaked on me, so I had to do them solo, which still did really well. You guys seem to love it. And then I kind of went on a bit of a strike at the end of ABC season 3 because, well, I was doing all this work for Dr. Slacking, and he was just insulting me the entire time. And I thought, well, I've done all this work for you, Slacking. Why have you done this to me? So I left the server, went on strike, and then there was a small beef going on for a bit, which wasn't that serious at all. It wasn't serious at all. I just thought, fake beef gets views. So I thought, you know, why not try it out? Dr. Slacking, you know, it'd be hilarious. It was hilarious for a bit, but it then just died out. And, you know, I don't think... Has there been a season 4 of ABC yet? I don't think there has been. If there is, I'm an idiot. But hopefully, if ABC does come back for season 4, it will be in the top 150 as well. Because season 1, season 2, season 3 is. So why not season 4 be in there as well? So I'm going to stick all of the ABC leagues in good for what it was. Maybe, no, actually, I'm going to put season 3 in solid watch because of the weekly update shows. You guys seem to love them. I enjoyed recording them because obviously... watching back other people's games and seeing their thought processes it's helping me like evolve the battle, like watching more content, watching more battles like that. Really like elevate my battling skills. So hopefully it does like that. Next up, my God, we have a throwback right now. We have my first Nuzlocke versus on the channel, which was the black and white versus I did with the Phosphoxdine. Now, this was like one of the absolute most funnest series that I've ever recorded on the channel. Like literally, I've watched this back at least 2 or 3 times, like completely full of it. I've absolutely loved the series. It's just so amazing. It's had its ups and downs. It really did, roller coaster wise. Dean got very lucky with his encounters. I got a few good encounters. Everything died, most of it, but somehow, spoiler alert, I won because Dean got swept by a freaking Togekiss. It was hilarious because, yeah, and my team was like Simi, Poor, and Mulga, all this. He had like all these Porygons. He had Entei, he had Ho-Oh, he had all these busted Pokemon. Quagsire, I think he had as well, Luxray. I had good Pokemon, and then they all died because I'm terrible at Nuzlocks. And they just, like, you know, overall, they did really, really well. I absolutely love this series. Now, I really, really would love to do another versus Nuzlocke in the future. But Nuzlocks don't seem to do as well as they did back in the day. So, unless you guys really want to see it, I will, you know, go back and try and get a versus recorded. I really want to do Doc Slacking, but he's not doing it at all. Don't know who else I could call. Possibly Checkmate Ben, but we did Emerald recently, but that didn't do that well either. So, you know, if you guys have any suggestions of like any Nuzlocks you want to see, or any like versus kind of styles you want to do, maybe even a co-op like a Soul Link or something, let me know in that comment section down below. But Black and White versus was absolutely fantastic, top tier content. Now, next up is Cards Against Humanity. Now, I only recorded, I believe, 3 of these, and they all did kind of well, really. Like the first 2 did, at least. The third one, not so much. But this first one was really funny to record, because I think this one here, which was in the top 150, was Dr. Slacking. These all featured Dr. Slacking. I'm using him for clickbaiting. He uses Strumpf, I use Dr. Slacking. What is this? But he was in this video. He'd never played Cards Against Humanity before, and he didn't know what he was getting in for. There were some weird Pokemon cards. Some of them didn't make sense. I think it was a solid watch. I really do. But, you know, maybe in the future we could go back to some Cards Against Humanity if you guys really want to see it. but it was really fun to record and absolutely amazing. So next up, we've got our 2 Civ series we did on the channel. The first one was the co-op versus with Checkmate Ben. I think this was good for what it was. Maybe it was a solid watch. I think it was good for what it was. I think it will be just below the ABC because obviously, this was early Devious Ditto content. The series did okay view wise. I really enjoyed me and Ben just banging back for each other. We did it a lot anyway. Playing Civ in the past, so we thought, why don't we record a game? Ben suggested this, so I said, yeah, sure, why not? Because this was back when I had an actual proper good laptop where I could actually record Civ stuff. Because right now I'm on a potato. Right now, it's all I can afford, and obviously I'd like to improve the content on hardware so I can record because at the moment I can't record Civ. It's just too powerful to record and play Civ at the same time. And Desu to do Gen 4, Gen 5 Nuzlocke. Can't really do that right now because my laptop's too terrible. That's why all the recent Nuzlocke on channel have been Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, old gens or fan-made games. So hopefully in the future I can upgrade that. But Civ 5 was good for what it was. It was the first Civ series on the channel. I think it was the first non-Pokemon video on the channel, which was actually madness when you come back to think about it. Because right now, there's barely any Pokemon on the channel right now. There's Lucky Dips right now and League games. That's about it. There's no Nuzlocke. There's nothing like that. Because what do we do now? There's reaction videos right now. There's obviously Super Seducer. We did all that kind of good stuff on the channel. Reactions, all that kind of good stuff. So Civ 5 is there. It was really good. But Civ 6, the Civ 5 Versus, which was with Orzeron Ben and Wrecker Reese. This was, I think it was the best series ever. Because there was a lot of insulting in that game. I think we offended pretty much every single country on the planet in that series. There's still the Wet Tundra meme. The Wet Tundra meme throughout me, Ben and Reese have it's been going on for God knows since this first came out. Wet Tundra is now a staple Civ 5 Civ meme on the channel. So, and every time we play Civ cooperatively, if someone's in Wet Tundra, they automatically have to call it Wet Tundra because Wet Tundra is just the meme right now. It is the Civ meme. It will never die. Wet Tundra is one of the channel memes on the channel. So it's staying there. Civ 6. I mean, I did do a Civ 6 series solo. Didn't do that well. But hopefully in the future, when I upgrade this, I really watch. Maybe we can do another Civ series with me. Bring the old clan back together. Do a Civ 6 series and see how well it goes. Because there's lots of banter back and forth. You guys will love it, hopefully. So yeah, that is the Civ. Hopefully in the future we'll do some more Civ 6. Next up, now I said I wouldn't do any one-off series on the channel, but on this tier list. But this generation debate, this Devious Ditto podcast we did with me, Dr. Slacking, Dreadful Dragonite, and Aquarius, did absolutely really well. It's an hour-and-a-half video of us just arguing for at least an hour and a half. Because Dr. Slacking's opinions were just completely entirely wrong, for example. And then me and Slacking were I was supporting Gen 5, Gen 6, Gen 7, all these stuff, Gen 1, hating on Gen 2 and Gen 3 and all that good stuff. And Slacking was in the other corner battling for that. Aquarius was jumping between us two, and Dragonite was just doing his own thing in the middle. It was absolutely madness, wacky. I really enjoyed recording this. Very upset we couldn't be able to do any more of these, but people were busy and all this good stuff, and it's just really hard to get that amount of people together to do a podcast sort of thing. But I'd really like to try and do another one in the future. But it's regarding of what to talk about on the podcast, who to bring onto the podcast, all that good stuff. So if you guys want to see more podcasts, more talkative, content like we did with the generation debate, the Great Generation discussion, part 1 to National Dex, we could try and get part 2 out. I know Dragonite doesn't record YouTube anymore, so we might have to replace him with someone else, but we could try possibly get Slacking involved. Obviously, on the response to that video, Strumpf and Nico did upload a podcast by themselves, mocking every decision we made, mainly mine, because I don't know why. They just really didn't like my video. But I think this was good for what it was. I think the podcast, no, it was a solid watch actually. I think it was a solid watch. But in the future, I hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be able to get like more of those out. Hopefully in the future, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. If I can think of like guests to bring on, like what good topics to talk about. Maybe we could talk about, I don't know. Don't even have to be Pokemon related. They can be about anything you guys want to see. So let me know in that comment section down below. Now next up we have the staple on the channel. We have the free-for-alls. Free-for-alls. Best series ever. They're like amazing to record. They're like, hilarious to record. There's a lot of moments in there. Bullying Valter. There's obviously bullying Slacking. All the crits. All the madness. There's two in these because these were the original free-for-alls we did on the channel. Now we'll get onto the other free-for-all in a second. But the originals, I think like we had like Blue Phoenix on there. We've had who else did we had on the originals? We had Strumpf. We had Dr. Slacking, obviously. We had Fox Dean. We had Rob. We had Josh. We had God knows. We had loads of guests on that series. Best series ever. Really enjoyed recording these. Unfortunately, not been able to do it on any Gen 8 ones as of yet because at the moment setup isn't the best. I've got a Switch capture card, but I've got no way to record it because the only screen I have in this room is this TV here, which doesn't have a HDMI port, so I can't put my TV into it. Put my Switch into it. Got a desktop screen here, can't put my Switch into that, so I'm able to record that. So hopefully in the future, when I can be able to afford to get a proper setup, if YouTube is still a thing I like do, we can try and do that in the future. Get some Gen 8 free-for-alls out. Maybe, who knows? Gen 9 could be out by the time I'd be able to get that sorted. Who knows? Pokemon might not be a thing anymore. So who the heck knows? But we're here. And yeah, Generation free-for-alls I think were more fun to record than the original ones. I personally think because those had more memories for me. Because obviously Gen 5 one stand out to me. The Gen 6 ones, no, the Gen 7 one, sorry, with the Koala Brothers and Robin is goddamn stalling the Necrozma. Did that too hard. My laptop is falling apart. Every time I whack table, the screen just falls back, but that's fine. What else did I remember? Gen 4 and the Prankster Riolu. Madness. Bullying Valter with the flowers in Gen 2. Having a Scarf Jigglypuff with competitive under Trick Room. That was a good memory as well. That was in Gen 1 ones. So yeah, there's a lot of good memories in that series. So yeah, Generation free-for-alls were amazing. I tried to like do another one, like doing like typing ones in the future, but then Gen 8 came out and then couldn't be able to record it. So I was going to do like water free-for-alls, fire free-for-alls, grass free-for-alls, like you only bring them onto those typings, you know, see how it went with that. Because we did Generations, the next step was obviously typings. So hopefully in the future we get some more free-for-alls back on the channel if you guys want to see that. But it's going to be a tough ask at the moment. Next up, we have GPC Season 4. Now, this is the league I completely forgot I was ever in. I think I dropped out most of the way through it because I think my third year dissertation was like on the horizon and I really had to get that finished. I'm really surprised that did so well because wasn't like a league I was like that invested in. I don't think I knew anyone from the league apart from like one person in it. It was a really good team, obviously, as you can see by the poster, because this was my draft analysis. I had like Mega Sharpedo. Now this was the birth of Baby Shark, which actually put in the actual work for me, as done in the future. But yeah, really surprised this was that high when going back through these. It's probably like maybe one or two that would surprise me that was this high on the series, but this was a very solid series, and I honestly don't remember GPC at all. I can't remember who ran it. I literally can't remember anything about GPC. So that's why it's in how to do so well. Next up, we have the Soul Link I did with the Fox Dean. Now, I think this was a solid watch. The Soul Link I did with Dean, because it didn't last that long, because every time series I do, which is in Heart Gold, Soul Silver, literally doesn't end. Because I've never played the game. I think the game is stupid because the level curve is like absolutely stupid. Like you battle trainers with like level 10, and then the gym leader's like level 20. It's like, why is the coloration that like stacked? Why is it that stacked? I don't get it. I literally do not understand it. Because you got to train for goddamn forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever, and you can't get enough experience from battling just the trainers because they're all weak as hell, and you get no experience from them, and it's hard to get like a solid team, a balanced team in Heart Gold Soul Silver, and like really stupid. This is why everyone loves Heart Gold Soul Silver because like the story and whatnot, but the goddamn level curve actually puts me off. It really annoys me every time I play the game because I've never completed a Gen 2 game. Because the only time I played it is Heart Gold Soul Silver on the channel. Never completed it. We'll get to the other Heart Gold Soul Silver series in a second, but this one, I think we got to like the second or third gym badge and whited out because all I caught were goddamn bugs the entire time, and you know, my team was never good, and I didn't know what I was doing in that series. Dean had to hold my hand pretty much the entire way through. This was the first time I ever played Heart Gold Soul Silver. It was a randomizer and it was a Soul Link, so I just went straight into deep end with this. Hopefully, I can try and get back to maybe doing some Gold Silver on the channel, maybe doing the original, because I can be able to record that. But like doing a non-randomizer, just actually playing the game like through its eternity. I don't know if you guys would actually want to see that. Maybe I could try to do it in my own time. But I am really, really busy at the moment with work and all that stuff, so may not be able to do. So, really enjoyed, solid watch. And the other Heart Gold Soul Silver I did was the Roulette versus Nuzlocke I did with Checkmate Ben, which I think was a solid watch. I think, was it as good as... I think these were my favourite two Nuzlockes to record, so I'm going to put next to each other. But, because pretty much Ben loved this game. I think this is Ben's favourite game. And obviously... he knew the game completely well. I literally, only memory of it was up to the point we got to in the Soul Link with the Foss. So, I didn't really know what to do, literally, most of the time. I had to, like, guess and, like, go really slow to work out. I think I was stuck on that far-fetched puzzle for God knows how long. The wheel was nice to me. Wasn't that nice to Ben. He got mono... I think he got, what? Monotype. Like on the first wheel and whited out because he had like mono water and he had like really rubbish Pokemon, so he had to restart. And then so we had to restart. I was like 2 gym badges ahead. He caught up really quickly because obviously he knows the game, and I was like going, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I white out because I was thinking, right, okay. As always, like in the black and white versus, all my mons just died and died and died and died and died, and I was left with terrible mons. And I thought, well, literally, I have nothing to do. I can't just sit here and grind for like 3 episodes to try and take on. I think was it Jasmine, who usually has a Steelix. I think that was the gym I got up to. I was thinking, right, Ben's like right behind me. I could just sit here and grind for like forever, and it'd be pointless. It'd be actually pointless. It'd be boring. So I thought, screw it. I'm taking on the gym leader. Because I did exactly the same thing for the Gym 4 and Gym 5. I got really lucky on the Pokemon they had. But Gen 6, I can't remember what she had that sweeped my team. But it was actually something really scary. It wiped me out. I'm thinking, right, okay, this is great. Because now, Ben said, we've got to continue the series. I was like, Ben, I have lost. I'm out. I've died at the 6th Gym Leader. I can't continue. He said, no, we need to continue. I want to finish the game. I'm thinking, Ben, I can't. I have no Pokemon left. If I start again from the beginning, there's like no point. Because I'm 6 gym badges behind. No, I think I was 5 gym badges behind. I've never played this game before. I couldn't even attempt to try and speedrun it. Because I've never played it before. I don't know the tricks of the trade and all that good stuff. So, we decided at that point to like, right, I'll just like, you know, restart. And as soon as Ben beats the 6 gym leader and gets further than I did, then we can call that game. So we did that. I can't remember how far I got up to at the start. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I just grabbed the trash I had in the PC and just tried leveling that up, while Ben just kept on going until he beat the 6 gym leader, picked up that W, and then he won the series. So I think that's the only verses I've lost. I've only done 2. So I won the black and white, I lost the heart and gold. So I need someone else to challenge in that series. Or in any, like, Nuzlocke versus to try and, you know, get the best out of that. So it was a good series, but, you know, probably not going to do that again. Now, next up we've got Leisure Suit Larry next. Now, this was a series where just got plugged out of nowhere. I think we were playing Mario Kart on Switch. This was like offline with I think it was me, both the Bens, Slacking, and a few others, maybe Gareth as well. We're playing this. Everyone left apart from me and the Bens. We were talking. I was thinking, oh, Ben said, oh, you should buy Worms on Switch. I was like, okay, let me look at the price. So I was looking through the Switch store, going through. And I thought, hang on a minute. What's this game? What is Leisure Suit Larry? And I was describing it to Ben, and they were like absolutely laughing, like how stupid this game was. I'm thinking, and they were going, Jake, you should really play this for your channel. I'm like, Ben, this game is £30. I can't, at that point, I can't afford that. So then, a few hours later, Order on Ben messaged me on Steam saying, Jake, I found this on Steam. It's like £10. I bought it for you. You have to play it on the channel now. I'm thinking, well, you did buy this game for me. I have to. I mean, it just had to be done, didn't it? It just had to be done. It just had to be done. And this was the weirdest, wackiest series ever on the channel. It was really weird game. This was started the creation of Super Seducer, which was the sequel to. It wasn't the sequel, but it was a kind of a similar game. Ruddy Richard, but that surprisingly hasn't gotten into the top 150. And most of my friends, like IRL friends who watch the channel, just watch the Super Seducer series, and it's not in the top 150. What are you guys doing? It's not there. But Leisure Suit Larry was a wacky game, very penis related, loads of penis jokes in it. Those are stupid stuff. We had to seduce all these people, and it's really weird. We met Donald Trump. We went back to 8-bit. We had to grab him by the pussy. We had to do all this weird and wacky stuff. But it just had to be done because, you know, it just had to. Next up, we have our LTC Season 2. Surprisingly, this is the only LTC season that made the top 150, which I think is crazy because I've uploaded all 4 seasons of LTC. And Season 2 was the only one that managed to get into the top 150, which was insane. But this one, let's put it there because of Season 2. Season 2 was definitely after ABC Season 2. But yeah, this is the league hosted by Fox Dean. This video was mainly because I ran it right at the end because I think I lost the first game 6-0, and I was really ranting why I should continue doing league content on the channel because well it's been I think 3 years at this point of doing league, and I still wasn't the best at league. I mean, I know I'm not great at gaming in general, barring possibly Mario Kart, but game wise Pokemon is it gets really frustrating at times when you'd been battling for so long or all this time and you're thinking, right, okay, I should be improving I should be going like this, but actually I went like this, and it's going like this now. It's slowly getting better because I've got a front office and all that good stuff. But at that point I was really down. I was like, well, what's the point? I just lost 6-0 opening game. I think I lost the first 2 games of that series 6-0, which wasn't the best. And I just missed out on playoffs, I think, in that season. That was the season. Well, I missed out on playoffs by a win. And someone dropped, and then Ben said, to Foss, you should let Jake in because he had the most wins out of all the people who didn't qualify. So only makes sense for him to jump in rather than giving I think, who was it? Was it Zombie? I think it was Zombie who would have got a bye at that point. I think I beat Zombie at that point. Then I played. Who did I play? I can't remember who I played in the semi-final, but I lost to them. But they eventually did win. So it's really weird because whoever I lose to in playoffs usually comes up and wins the entire tournament. So I should really have come second in every tournament because the only person I lost to in playoffs was the actual winner. So, you know, that's how it works. It's how that works. But it was good for what it was. Obviously, most of the content will be in good for what it was, because, well, I like, well, most of the showdown stuff, like post-com, will be in that series more than likely. Next up, we have Lucky Dips. Now, these have been also a new series slash an old series, because we brought it back a couple of weeks ago with Dr. Slacking. I think 4 have been up at this point, at this stage. We've done one with Slacking, Checkmate, Hanny, and Aquarius. I think I've got some planned in the coming weeks with some very special guests, some 2 people who haven't done Lucky Dip before, even in the previous old one, so definitely go check those out, which will hopefully be out in the coming days on the channel. But I think Lucky Dip was a best series ever. I think this was a very underrated series. I really do. Because back in the day when I did it, I literally just started YouTube at that point. I was a very small channel, didn't really have many YouTube friends at that point. I think I did it with Foss, I did it with Checkmate Ben like 2 or 3 times, I did it with Valter a lot, I did it with I can't remember who else I did it with. I did it with Rob, I did it with some other small YouTubers who don't really do Pokemon. I can't remember who else I did it with now. I did it with Josh a couple of times. But yeah, at the back of then, really just did it with like my UCC friend circle. But now I've done it with like Slacking, who's got, I've done it with Slacking, who didn't it before, Aquarius didn't do it before, Hanny, who I didn't before, because I didn't know these people when the original Lucky Dip came out. Because I think this came out like 3 years ago. Like summer 2017, I do believe this came out. This was the first summer after I think I started YouTube in March. I think I started doing Lucky Dip in like August time. So this was before like anything really. So obviously I watched I do watch a lot of FIFA series on YouTube. I don't know why. I never play FIFA. I haven't played FIFA in ages, but I prefer like watching it to playing FIFA, because obviously I like football and all that good stuff. And they do lots of like versus series, like with the cards and stuff. So I thought, hang on, wouldn't this be a cool idea to try and convert one of these series into Pokemon? So Reeve does a checklist challenge where you have to like build like squads with 3 checkpoints for 3 different parts, and you have to like build a team with all that good stuff, and you battle. Then you play a game of FIFA with the teams and see who wins after that. I thought this actually would be this series is actually one that could potentially be brought over to Pokemon. Obviously, it's doing really well. Most of them are getting like 5+ likes, which is actually amazing for me, because most videos on my channel barely get like 1 or 2. So these are all getting 5. Absolutely amazing. All getting like 15, 20 views as well. Amazing. So hopefully Lucky Dips can keep evolving and getting better and better and better, because you guys can add to the pots, you guys can ask for potential guests, you guys can like ask for like different ways to improve the series. Like, I don't know, we could add Ubers. No, Ubers is stupid, because then everyone will just bring Ubers and that'd be stupid. We could maybe do some specials where we allowed Ubers. We could do if the series goes well, I could do a Lucky Dip versus competition, where I'm the host and we have like 8 different components, 8 different opponents, and they have to Lucky Dip versus each other and see who the best Lucky Dipper is. That's a cool idea. That's actually a cool idea. If you guys want to see that, let me know in the comment section down below. I'll try and get that sorted out. That's going to take a lot of work though. A lot of work to get enough people to be around to do that. But it's something that could be done. It's something that can actually be done. So hopefully, I don't know, maybe we can get that done in the future. This video is going to be really long, but you know, it's a throwback. I'm going to be a little waffling. Next up, we've got Metronome to Glory. Now, this was good for what it was, because this was I think this was like the 3rd series ever on the channel. Because at the start I did, obviously my first video was a UCC Season 7 overview, which is mad because now we're in like, next season can be Season 14 of UCC, because Season 13 just ended. That's just insane. I did my Pokemon Black randomizer, and that was like the first ever Nauticon channel. And I started doing showdown, like kind of showdown lines of Metronome to Glory. Now, Metronome to Glory was a very fun series to record. Mainly when it was like me and someone else. Because these were the OGs with Valter, Checkman, Ben and Foss on the channel doing Metronome to Glories. And the premises was, because this was very old, most of you guys won't know what this series is, but Metronome to Glory was pretty much start of the batch of episodes, because they were separated into like 4 episodes per like metronome team / guest and whatnot. Where first of all we did a metronome battle, and the first move activated by metronome on my 6 Pokemon was the move I had to use on a OU laddering team. So for example, if I matched over my Snorlax and it got let's say it got Cotton Guard, that means I'd have to bring a mon on my team on the OU ladder which had Cotton Guard, for example, and then so on and so on and so forth. It could be rubbish with my Mudspot. It could be amazing moves like Giga Drain or something, or Leech Seed or Scold or something like that. Who knows? Because all the moves we had to go like, right, okay, we can use this. We got Rock Wrecker a couple of times, which means we had to use Rhyperior and stuff like that. So the very interesting series, was very fun to record. Again, this was back in the day where it was a very small channel. Maybe we could throw it back and do that, because we brought back Lucky Dip. That did really well. Maybe we can try and bring back Metronome to Glory as well. Who knows? If you guys want to see that, let me know down in the comment section down below. Next up, we have I think this is the PBAL, which was the second ever Wi-Fi league I was part of. I think both of these, to speed this up a bit, I think both of these were a solid watch, because these were all live commentary. These were all very. I got really salty in both of these seasons, because in PBAL, the last game of the season, all I had to do was not lose 6-0. And what happens? I lose 6-0 to a Venomoth. Which was very upsetting, because I was an idiot and forgot Tapu Fini would have helped me with that, because then Venomoth wouldn't be able to put me to sleep. Obviously in PCL, D-League, Ben drafted me a Rain team, and you know how well that went. You do know I lost every game apart from the last game. Well, I actually did an absolute celebration dance, because I absolutely was so ecstatic that I actually won a game in that league. Because I genned wrong a couple of times. I made very bad misplays. The video that stands out for me in that series was definitely the week 3 game where I forgot to bring Drizzle on Politoed, and I just had a mental breakdown. That's probably the most memorable. I think that's the most memorable league game I can think of that happened on the channel. If you guys can think of any others, let me know down in the comment section. But I think that is the most memorable one I can think of out of all of them. And obviously PBAL as well. The last game also stands out for me as well, because I just had a mental breakdown with Venomoth, and it was like, you know, this is back at uni days. That was like these happened like a year ago. So yeah, very much throwback, very much good. Next up, we have the birth of the most maddest, craziest, wackiest league ever, Impeda. Now this was the original draft overview, not draft overview, it's league overview of Impeda, because this was the first ever video for like explaining the wackiness of Impeda, but it has evolved since then, because at that point it was just wacky tiers and no clauses. But if you're in part of Impeda now, it's got random metas, you get random teams, you get no clauses, the tiers are insane. Yeah, it's like completely different now. It's a very good league. People who are in it really enjoy it. I really enjoy it because you get to play with different formats. You get to use mons you haven't used before, which I think is a good niche for the league, because everyone's going to go, oh, okay, I would have never drafted this mon if I had to, because Berry's in it. He made him fall in love with Meganium and Buzzwole and all like that. I like using it because I think season 2, I think, or season 1, I think, of the original Charizard, really like to join that. At the moment, I've got a really bulky team with Tangrowth, Chansey, Sableye. Really like using it. Don't think I would have drafted Tangrowth, Chansey in any other league, but this forced me to use it. I really enjoy using it, so who knows? Maybe in the future I could try and do some of that out. But you know, it's here. It's fun. It's wacky. It's like me. It's going to be done. Next up, we have the OG on the channel. We have the I think this just had to be done. Pokemon Black randomized Nuzlocke, the first ever Nuzlocke on the channel, because I thought, well, what do most PokeTubers, because this is my second ever video on the channel, what do most PokeTubers upload at that stage? Oh, Nuzlocks. Should I do a Nuzlocke? Yeah, I should do a Nuzlocke. So this was the birth of Daniel. And this was probably the shortest Nuzlocke on the channel because I died to the first trainer on the first route because he had a Zekrob with Dragon Rage, which is very fun. Very, very fun. And N was very hard to get through because he had Terrakion. All I had was a Tangler, which didn't even have a grass type move at that point. So, yeah, black and white is like really the hardest games to do Nuzlocke from like not on a fan made game standpoint, but out of all the like original games, black and white is the hardest to do a randomized Nuzlocke on because there's so many goddamn good Pokemon from up to that point, and most of them have Dragon Rage. Most of them are scary. So, Pokemon Black, I would put it for good for what it was, but it was like it just had to be done because it was the first series on channel. I think this next one, Pokemon Leaf Green Roulette Randomized Nuzlocke, is also again just had to be done because this was made last minute because this series ended very quickly. So I had to literally make a thumbnail, like a layout and all that good stuff in like literally a couple of days to get Leaf Green up and loaded to fill in the slot that Heart Gold Soul Silver was supposed to replace. But it was a good series. It was a good series because my starter was a Mudkip and it evolved to Trapinch, which literally really broke my heart because I hate that Trapinch. I hate Trapinch line so goddamn much. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. It is terrible. Which is why it's there, I guess. I didn't beat the game because I think my last wheel was I could only use stab moves in the Elite Four, and I ran out of PP. That was the only reason I lost that series, which is very unfortunate. I came really close, but it just wasn't meant to be. So I don't think I finished most of my Nuzlockes. Speaking of which, the one I did finish was Pokemon Pearl Roulette Randomized Nuzlocke, which I think was top tier, good for what it was. Actually, no, I think it's going to be in Solid Watch. I think it's going to be bottom tier Solid Watch, because this was the birth of Roulette on the channel. This was the first Roulette Nuzlocke, which made Peda Roulette a thing, which made Roulette Versus I did with Treatment Ben a thing. It literally was. Pokemon Pearl was the first ever Pokemon game I played. I think it's the only time I've ever played Gen 4 on the channel. So, really good for that. Had a lot of good Pokemon in that. I had Palkia, obviously I caught in that. I'd started with Kecleon, who made it to the end, I do believe. Had to monotype with fighting types. I deemed the Makuhita. I had Clefable, which lasted a very long time. Lots of good memories in that series. Did really evolve. Like the series did evolve. This was like the first. I think this was the first. No, this was the second Nuzlocke I finished. Third on the channel. Really enjoyed recording this series. May have to go back to doing a Pokemon Pearl. Maybe on Twitch, because on Twitch you guys seem to watch it. I recently did start a new one playing Fire Red Roulette on Twitch, but then I got employed and I've got no time to record Twitch anymore and try and keep up a daily YouTube schedule on the channel. So yeah, maybe I'll bring that back when I've got more free time. But you know, next up we've got the quiz videos, which just had to be done. They literally just had to be done because at that point on YouTube, lots of PokeTubes were doing the Pokemon Gen 1 quizzes, and I'm thinking, well, I might as well jump on the bandwagon. I did well on Gen 1, not so good on Gen 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I do a lot of forfeits. I had to eat an onion, which I don't think anyone watched because no one watched the video. I had to chug some beans, but again, nobody watched it because no one watched the video, which was very unfortunate because I did all that painful, irritating stuff for nothing. I redid the Gen 1, didn't do that well the second time. But, you know, it just had to be done because it just had to, really. It just had to be done. To get the views, you know. Didn't take much effort to make. Just had to load up. But like this video, really, I just had to load up the Gen 1. I had to load up Sporcle and just do the quizzes on there. That was pretty much all it came down to. So yeah, that's just had to be done with those. Pokemon Reborn. Now, shout out to Devil for this one because he messaged me. But I had a Discord server. I don't have one now. But if you guys really want me to make one, because I know Doc Slackin's got one, I might just copy him and make my own one. Who knows? I don't know. It's just going to be one of those things, isn't it? I could make one, But if you guys really want one, just let me know in the comment section down below. If you don't, then just communicate with me in the comment section down below, because that's where I can contact with most of you anyway. So, Reborn, I think it was good for what it was. I started doing this Nuzlocke, and then it wasn't Nuzlocke, it was just a playthrough, because it's a very renowned hard game. So I think I played it up to about 8-9 episodes. Then I just stopped because I stopped uploading to YouTube at that point. I took a break because it was like Christmas, all that good stuff. So I took like a month, 5-6 weeks off YouTube. Got back and looked at the stats and thought, well, no one's really watched Pokemon Reborn. So is there a point in continuing with it? So I didn't. So it just got left in the dust. It was good for what it was, because the first couple of episodes did really well, and then it started to like dip off a little bit, like because the first I think the first two got like 40-30 views, and then it just went down to like single digits, and I'm like, well, no one's really watching this anymore. Is there a point in finishing it? I don't know. No one really liked the videos either, so it was like it was like, you know, it was good for what it was. It was definitely good for what it was. Next up, we've got another. Me going around saying, oh, no one watched these Nuzlocks. Most of the Nuzlocks are in the top 150, which is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. But this is the second ever Nuzlocke I did on the channel, which was the Pokemon Red All Mons Randomized Nuzlocke. I'm going to put in good for what it was, because, well, yeah, this is the second ever Nuzlocke on the channel. This was the birth of the hatred of Flygon, because I had it in the... I caught Flygon really early on, but it was only good because I had Sonic Boom. After Sonic Boom became irrelevant, it was trash. It was absolutely trash. I know it carried me for one gym, the first gym in the game, because it was a fully evolved Pokemon. After that, it literally did nothing for me. As soon as I caught an Excadrill, it outclassed it in every single way. Excadrill got Earthquake. Flygon didn't get a ground type move or a dragon type move, I don't think, the entire playthrough. All it had was Rock Slide, which missed half the time. I had to keep it on the team because, you know, just a death fodder, just Sonic Booms and Wild Encounters. That's pretty much why I was only there. Didn't do the best on channel, but it was good. It was good for what it was, because it was a very early Nuzlocke. Actually, I'm going to put it. Yeah, I'll put it there because, again, like with the Leaf Green, it was a last-minute botch job to get, because Black finished so quickly. Had to really, really quickly do Pokemon Red, and, you know, do the most with that. Next up, we've got Ruby, which again just had to be. Now I'm going to put this one for good for what it was, because this again was in response to the Black and White Versus, because that finished really quickly, so I had to whip up Ruby really quickly. So there's a theme with these. There is a theme with these. But Ruby, really enjoyed that playthrough. I think I finished it. I think I completed Gen 3, which is really fun. Had a very good adventure with that series. All of it was very good. I'm trying to remember all these series, and I can't really actually remember what happened in Ruby. It wasn't a roulette, it was just a complete randomize, wasn't it? So the evolutions were whack. I think in one episode, I think I got 5 evolutions on the same Pokemon, because it evolved into something which evolved into something else, which evolved into something else, which evolved into something else, and it kept on going and going and going until I think it was a Cloyster. Was it a Cloyster? I don't remember. You guys probably remember more than me, but I think it was a Cloyster. But who knows? But yeah, next up, reaction videos. Just had to be done, because they get the views. They really do. Most of my, because I started doing reactions because my 100 subscriber special, I went back and reacted to all of my old videos, which helped me like improve the channel, like the first League games, the first Nuzlocks, the first like Metro Goys and all that good stuff. That did really well. So I thought, well, could it be because it was the 100 subscriber special, or was it because I reacted to all these videos? So then I uploaded a Pokemon song reaction video, which is the first reaction video on the channel. That did really well. Then I started reacting to more like Pokemon related stuff. Then I started evolving to do other stuff, and then I did like the chase, and people started, Malawi, shout out to you, started suggesting videos to react to, and at that point I kept evolving. Got to like around the end of this year, like November, December time, and thought, well, these reactions aren't doing that well anymore, might stop. Did stop, and then after my hiatus at Christmas, went back. The Chase reaction had got around 400 views in like a month. I'm thinking, excuse me, how did you do so well? Let me just contradict myself. How did you do so well? So literally, started recording that. Started doing more like British TV shows, like the Taskmaster. I've done Mock the Week. I've done the Inbetweeners. I've done Countdown. Done now doing Sidemen videos. All that good stuff. Get the views. These are mainly to like try and get people to join the channel. Kind of, really. They do really well on the channel, view-wise. Get a lot of interaction. Get a lot of likes. Get a lot of views. Obviously, more likes means more people will come to my channel. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Maybe more reaction videos. Maybe not. But they do a lot. They do really well. Obviously, whatever you guys want me to do on the channel, just let me know in that comment section down below and I'll do it. More than likely, because this channel is mainly for you guys. So hopefully, you know, more reactions will come in the future. They'll be lingering on for a bit because they do really well. But obviously, it's just me sat down watching a YouTube video. Doesn't take that a lot of effort, but it does really well. So you've got to keep doing it, haven't you? Next up, we've got Simpsons Hit and Run. Very classic game. I think this was a solid watch. Because this was like, what, 7-8 videos? I think the last video was just the last level, because that level is absolutely a killer. But the first two, I think the first two episodes of this series have done absolutely well. I think they're around the 100 view mark. Which is really, really good. Hit and Run. Very staple classic game. This was pre-webcam. Obviously, this was pre-webcam. This was, I think I recorded it on my bed right there. Literally on my laptop. I was playing with my Xbox controller. Xbox controller in my hand, playing it on an emulator. And you can tell how long I've done like a Nuzlocke or a freaking emulator game. This has got dust all over it. It's because I've never used it for Xbox. I literally use it just to play like videos on this. And like, you know, it just hasn't done that well. But yeah, Hit and Run, solid watch. One of my favourite games as a child, so that's why it's up there. Next up, we've got Battle for Bikini Bottom. Again, I think this was a solid watch for me, personally, because I really like Battle for Bikini Bottom. Obviously, the remake is coming out in a few weeks. I'm really tempted to go back and play that again on the channel, on the remake, on PC version. But if you guys want to see that, let me know in that comment section down below, because this one did really well. I think I started webcam like on episode 3 in this. Added webcam, really liked the series. This randomly episode 5, I Can't Swim, is literally like in the top 20 videos on my channel. I don't understand why. It's just there. It is literally just there for no reason. All the other ones are like literally around the 2015 kind of view mark. This one's like 150 or something. It's insane. It's crazy. Hopefully, hopefully, if I do the new one, it does more better. It does even better than this one. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Next up, we have Super Mario 3D Land, which again I think is down. Just has to be done because I want to try and. I think at this point I want to try and do more, because this I think was uploaded about a year ago. Did Super Mario 3D Land. Really wanted to do some more. I think this was then I did try to do the summer of Mario games, because I did Mario Kart on the channel. I did this on the channel. I think that was the two I did. Well, it was a thing. Maybe it was a Mario thing. I don't know. I tried to do more. I think this was when Cards Came to Mania. I think this is when I tried to do like more other Pokemon stuff, games on the channel. Did this series. First couple did really well. Didn't finish it because you guys didn't really watch it anymore. So I thought, well, no one's watching it. What's the point in doing it? So kind of ended the series there. But I really did enjoy playing it. Again, did really well. I mean, did it really? the first, I think this was the first Mario game I ever played on the channel, which seems crazy to me because I really love Mario. But, you know, it's not one of the mainstream Mario games. It's like, no one really remembers Super Mario 3D Land. It was just because I had the 3DS game at uni, and I didn't really fancy streaming Odyssey, because that game would have taken forever. And they were doing 2 games I had up at uni, so, you know, it's just what had to be done. It just had to be done. Next up, we have the original Simpsons game on DS. I think this is going to go alongside the Mario, because actually, let's do Mario. Let me move you up there. Let me use to the top. But yeah, the Simpsons game on DS. I think I did 3 episodes of this. First 2 did really well, and then for some reason you guys stopped watching it, and I could definitely go back to play it again, like episode 4 and whatnot, if, you know, it does really well again, because I really liked enjoying playing that game. Obviously, it didn't do that well on the channel. I've been rambling on for about an hour now. This is ridiculous. I've been rambling on for an hour. I've never talked this much in my entire life. But, yeah, Simpsons game didn't do that great. Tearing videos. Tearing videos is a tearing video. Look at that. Blah, blah, just had to be done. You know, gets the views. Stacking does them. I react to them. You know, it's just what it was. I want to keep this under an hour. I'm going to, like, rush through these. Solid Watch was the Ultra Sun Let's Play on the channel. This was the first ever time I played a game that literally just came out on the channel. Should have done it with Sword and Shield as well, but at that point, did have a capture card for... no, I did have a capture card for it. I was at home right then and couldn't record on Twitch. So that was very upsetting. And Sun and Moon had already come out before I started YouTube, so I couldn't do that one as well. So Ultra Sun and Moon did really well. Was my most watched video at that point for the Mischief when I got the Lycron Dusk form, but then the Chase reaction just smashed out of the water. That's only on 1k views, which is absolutely insane. And last but not least, we have the UCC Season 7, the first one on the channel. Had to be done, first video. Was the first video on the channel, had to be done. And the Season 13 Power Rankings, the latest series of UCC, was good for what it was. It was literally... Power Rankings I did with Ben did really well. The videos did okay as well. Just as well as, like, all the other league games at the moment on the channel. But yeah, that is my tiering list for all my series on the channel. I know it's been a long one, guys, but I've gone over, like, history of the channel, all that good stuff. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. If you made it this far, shout out to you. But if you did enjoy this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.